Audio. Oh, it's on. I have no idea where James is. We're going to take over the stream. Let's go.
Shenanigans blazing through the radio haze. Waves collide in a frenzied cry. Telling tales no one else can hear. James and Dan on the edge of frontier. Crackle in the static, signal cuts the night. James and Dan are laughing on a frequency fight. A party tail spinning wild through the air. Mountains scream the secrets, but the satellites don't care. Antennas twist in the storm's wicked hand. Swords calling warriors across the rugged land. Satellites above us like ghosts in the sky. James and Dan chasing echoes as the hours fly. Shenanigans blazing through the radio haze. Waves collide in a frenzied cries. Telling tales no one else can hear. James and Dan on the edge of frontier. Shenanigans blazing through the radio haze. Waves collide in a frenzied cry. Telling tales no one else can hear. James and Dan on the edge of frontier. On the edge of frontier.
What's up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November here. A Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Welcome to your one stop. I don't know where James is. He texted me, but he's not answering my calls. I can't act like him. So we're just going to roll on. Maybe he'll join us. I have no idea. But first, let's thank the Patreon members. As always, you guys make James's world go around, and he appreciates every last one of you. And the YouTube members, we have a new, finally, somebody joined the crew over on the Poda Rover side. Josh, Kilo 4, Lima, India, joined the crew over there. And since James is absent without leave, we do not have an update to the Adventure Club board. But that is the last one that I knew about. Anyway, welcome to Shenanigans episode 127, everybody. And if anybody knows where James is, put a leash on him and drag him back in here. Maybe Terry has him hidden away somewhere. We need to find him. But Whiskey Charlie was first in the chat with a big yeehaw. Good to see you. Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra X-Ray Hotel. William, how you doing there, buddy? Pouring the rain. Yes, sir. The rain. You know it's the rain when you have that. Kent, Kilo 9 Alpha Echo. What's going on? Cornbread, KO5RN. Whiskey 0 Charlie Golf Charlie, our friend from East Tennessee. Balmy East Tennessee, he said. Yeah, we've been having a heat wave. Toby, Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta. What's going on? Mike A88 KB. Terry, Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. Bob's in here. Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu India Kilo. Good to see you. Kelly Rose KI4 JAV, and our newest YouTube POTA Rover member himself, Josh Keeler 4 Lemur India. Scott N2TKT. Good evening to you, buddy. KH6WI Aloha. He did a CW activation last night. For somebody who doesn't know CW, that's a feat. Good job. North Carolina, Old Man Overload. That's our buddy Terry. And for TRD, what's going on, buddy? Alan Davis, AC4. Hi. What's going on, man? Martini is here. Yes, I am alone. I have no idea. He texted me right before the stream, but I don't know where he is. Martini's, that's the Jumbo Marshmallow, Whiskey Delta 4. Juliet, Mike, Kenny KC5, MJ Echo. What's going on, buddy? And John K8NIV and Michael Kilo Echo 4 Eastern Standard Time and Kilo 4 Alpha. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Shenanigans episode 127. Terry, tell me what the weather like is up there. Maybe he doesn't have power. I don't know. But maybe he'll join us. Maybe he won't. Maybe we'll just wing it the whole hour. Ain't no telling. Eric says, trying to figure out the challenges. Let me read this here. Challenges for the Japan call signs. Yes. When I first started my CW journey, it was a trick to me. If I didn't get a call sign that started with a K, W, or an N or an alpha, I was screwed. Because I didn't know what was going on. And I think I said it a couple streams ago. Maybe 4 or 5 streams ago. I know I mentioned in the past, you've gotten to a certain point in your CW journey when you're not really scared to spot on 10 meters because you're going to get some really wacky call signs come back to you if the bands are opened up. But yeah, that's awesome. Victor Romeo 2, 7 words a minute. Well, that's right up your alley, man. You did it good. You did good. What's everybody been going on? I know the Kentucky POTA meetup is has come and gone. I know James went to that. Maybe he's still on Kentucky POTA meetup time and forgot about the stream. I don't know. He's liable to call me because I tried to call him, but who knows? Maybe I think Terry kidnapped him. I think that's what happened. Terry, what happened? We need all the details. Are you holding him for ransom? If so, I'm not paying. So we're going to have to figure that one out. Maybe we can raid the king's coffers to get him back there. But no, just like I guess the rest of the southeast United States has been miserably hot here in South Georgia. Miserably hot, where you just don't even want to go outside. It is crazy. Yeah, send me the audio. I want to hear this. That was great. Yeah, I saw him on the spot page, John, and he actually texted me not but a half an hour before stream time with an update to the YouTube members. And I don't know. Beats me. Maybe he forgot what time it was. I hope he's okay because he didn't answer my call. But Robert St. Clair, hello. KT4 Zulu Golf. Welcome to the chat. This is our Sunday shenanigans. We talk about anything and everything, sometimes radio, sometimes not. All depends on what comes to mind. But yeah, hopefully everything is okay with Sir James and he'll be joining us. If not, we'll send out the search party and see what is going on. Well, all right, so Mommy Noodles is here. Welcome, Kyle. And he said he just joined. The pretty boy is absent without leave. And we're going to have to dock his pay. I was just saying, he texted me right before the stream. And I don't know. Beats me. I did my best intro, the What's Up Ham Radio. But it didn't really work out too well, I guess. I don't know. Still looking for the end of the rainbow in West Virginia, Toby says. That's a high possibility. Sidewalk Sherry didn't hit another deer. Oh no, that'd be brutal. He would probably live stream from the side of the road showing the damage, though. Knowing him. Yeah, Kyle, you're the pretty boy. That's well, wait a minute. I got a text from James. This ought to be funny. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it first before I read it on air, because knowing James, ain't no telling what it says. He sent me a bunch of question marks. And I sent, hey, the stream is on. We're live. I think this fool forgot about his stream. Oh, that's going to be great. Oh, man. Yeah, we got to take some bets about this. Oh, I can't wait to hear this reply here. I said he was slacking today, and he sent me back a couple of question marks like, what am I talking about? And I said, hey, we're live, yo. Kyle, are you back from your adventures through the Carolinas and wherever else you went? And how'd you like those winds up there in North Carolina on the Skyway there? And the porter potty. Hopefully it didn't smell. No, the porta potty. I'm sorry, the porta potty. Hey, Dad. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you in here. I saw the pictures from the Kentucky meetup, and a lot of, I won't say a lot. Some faces I knew in that picture. A lot of them I did not. So that's pretty cool. I imagine a lot of people got to meet some new faces. And it looked like a lot of fun. So that is cool. Yeah. A lot of traffic. You didn't happen to go into that porta potty, did you, Kyle? Because I warned you not to go in there for another 45 minutes. So, oh, hey, guess who finally decides to just show up? Whenever he's ready, he'll let himself in here, because I don't want to. Because he's probably cussing underneath his breath right now. Because we've been talking about him, the last 15 minutes or so.
Shenanigans.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Did you do my proper intro? I mean, I gave you like
tried.
13 minutes, so you're supposed to talk me up.
I did the whole "What's up, Ham Radio" and everything else. Yeah, look, let me move you to the right side. All right, there we go. Now I feel better. So we were taking bets in the chat of what happened. We have, let's see, something like you had heat stroke because it's been so damn hot. Sidewalk Sherry may hit another deer. Yeah, we were trying to figure it out.
I'm gonna go with heat stroke, man, because it's hot. It's hot as crap.
Yeah, hot as balls.
Like the air conditioning in my house is not even keeping up at all.
Oh man!
And when I do go outside, it's even in the shade. It's so hot it takes my breath. So it's pretty brutal.
I know this morning I looked at my weather app and it said it was 89 degrees, but it felt like 98 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's just.
I don't know what it is out there, but it's probably 98 feeling like 108. It just
makes you not want to go out and do anything. I mowed the grass on Saturday, and I don't have a push mower. I mean, I can ride around on my mower. I don't have to exert any energy to mow my grass, but it took all my energy I had. When I was done, I was drenched.
So when I did my POTUS today, I sucked it up and took the noise of the car running and ran the air conditioner.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, it's just absolutely. I feel like you remember a couple of years ago when I went down to South Carolina and all of the activations was inside the car running the air conditioner. I felt like that.
Yeah. Like a Florida activation almost.
And it's supposed to be that way all week long here anyway.
Yep. So. Do you get much RF interference from your car when you do that?
It's really kind of weird. Mostly it's on 40, which is where I like to be. So 20 don't do it real bad. But 20 sucks here, even though I went to 20 meters today. But the bands were actually pretty good for a change. I mean, not stellar or nothing, but they were pretty good. So I was just trying to make myself feel at home with bad bands by adding extra noise.
Yeah, your cousin, who never turned your back on her, said that she said, sorry, inside joke. Everybody else is like, what? Anyway, your cousin, Juliet Mike said she wants to go out in POTA, but it's just been too damn hot. And I said, well, sit in the car, babe, and run the coax through the window. But we didn't know about the RF because I've never ran POTA with the truck, running for any extended period of time.
Well,
I mean, test.
I'm going to tell you, it works different for different vehicles too, because I've did it in several different vehicles. I can tell you a newer model Ford truck, you could forget it.
Yeah, Fords are the worst. Yeah, I've heard about those. You can be sitting in a parking lot doing POTA, and they can pull in the parking lot, and they will wipe you out. I mean, all the way across the parking lot. There's so many computers in them things. It's just, I don't know. It's ungodly. I'm surprised a Tesla isn't really loud. Eric, KH6WI, Eric, aloha, Eric. Is your Tesla loud RF wise? It'd be good to know. KO4 FSZ, welcome. He said he was late. Grandkids just left. It's okay, buddy. You weren't the only one. We got you. It's okay to be late.
Listen, I wasn't late. I'm the king.
That's right. You were right on time.
Things start when I decide they start, y'all.
That's right. Tesla is quiet. Interesting.
But he don't drive it with the radio on.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm surprised that it would be quiet, because I know those car chargers, when they're charging a car, they're brutal.
Yeah.
And then somebody else told me that they wasn't even bothered by them, and I don't see how, because they wiped my radio out the last time I was near one.
When I was driving down the highway going up the East Coast a couple of years ago, I could tell from about a quarter mile away if I was getting close to an F-150. It was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing. And then all of a sudden, yep, there it is.
Yeah, because James, VE3JON, his Ford truck, it just absolutely would annihilate us. If we were in a parking lot and he pulled in, it would annihilate us totally, until he got over and shut his vehicle totally off. And even if you were in his vehicle and was trying to use the radio, like even if you opened the door and the lights come on, I don't know what else that triggers in those trucks, but it would throw a bunch of noise, and you would have to wait till like several minutes after the lights were off. So,
you know how in some states you have to get your annual inspection sticker?
Mm-hmm.
They should include in those inspections a POTA certification. If your truck emits too much stray RF, fail. Or you're not allowed within a quarter mile of a state park or something like that.
So Rob, which is a name that I don't recognize in the chat, welcome Rob, has a good question here. How do you get rid of QRM? Well, first off, it depends on where the QRM is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are ways to get rid of some of it, and some of it you're just messed with. I mean, I've been set up at a pavilion before, and you get somebody come into the same pavilion and run a birthday party. You can't get rid of that QRM. But now, if somebody moves really close to you, if you're talking about that kind of QRM, like Annette, for example, because they own every frequency for the last 42 years they've been there. But so I have them move in on me quite a bit, and I have no problem moving. Just like it was today, actually, a guy came in and he threw his call out, he didn't really. He wasn't really polite, but he did let me know that they were running a net two up from me, and that I was killing them
Up on 40
Yeah.
meters, I assume.
on 40 meters.
Okay.
They were
okay.
two up from me, and I was killing them.
They would be killing you.
And the thing was, I wasn't even hearing them.
Wow.
But that's yeah, I know. But I was done at that point with 40 meters anyway. I had called last call a couple of times, so I moved for him. Not a problem. But he did, he didn't come on there and say, "We're running a net, you need to move," because that doesn't work well with me. But sometimes they will just move in right on top of you, and they won't even bother to come and say anything to you. And when they do that, I'll keep going. And Toyota fuel pumps are POTA killers.
Yeah. Once you get done with your thought, I want to touch on this.
Okay. So that's got me all messed up, Kyle. Thank you. Anyway, they'll move in up on me, and with my Yaesu, I will, depending on whether I'm on lower or upper sideband. If I'm on lower sideband and they're above me, I will narrow my width down quite a bit, and then I will shift it away from them, and then I can do really good getting rid of the QRM.
Yeah. What, Kyle, what does that sound like? And I know you can't really accurately type what it sounds like, but
If you can type it and I can hear it, Kyle,
Yeah.
we are in a new business together.
because in mine, I have like a white noise that comes and goes. And I know it's not the fuel pump because that will be a constant thing because it's always pumping fuel, right? But so I don't think my fuel pump in my Tundra is loud, but I got something else that comes and goes. And I haven't been able to track down what it is because when it happens, I'll turn off air conditioner, I'll turn off basically almost everything, but it's still there. All right. So far for the fuel pump sound, we got a zzz and we got a shoo. It might be my alternator. It comes and goes. So I mean, I don't. I mean, you would figure if it was my alternator, it would always be there if the truck's running, right? But
Well,
I'm
I'm not sure if it's all Subarus, but I know when I'm riding in Terry's Subaru with Terry, I keep hearing this noise, and there ain't even a radio on. So
I know that sound perfectly, Kyle. That's just the best description I could ever ask for, and I really appreciate that. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
see, then this discourages me because I really want to get a Toyota truck.
I mean, yeah, it bothers me every now and again, but it's not enough for me to not want another Toyota. I mean, I put it that way, even though it's there. Now, I do have an older Toyota before they started to go to all this V6 twin turbo crap. I got the 5.7 V8, 2012 Tundra. So I don't know what all the newest technology that might be worse on RF interference, but
That's funny. That is funny.
oh man.
Well, I do have an interesting story, Dan, and you can relate to this story because you have once been locked into a wildlife management area before.
I have. Yes.
So, I have done Forks of the Coal many, many times really late at night.
Well,
But when I do Forks of the Coal, I pull in and I go into the parking lot on the left. That's where I've always activated Forks of the Coal.
your left or my left?
My left.
Okay, go ahead.
So if I'm in my driver's vehicle, I pull in and turn left. But now there are a couple people like Kevin and Terry that activate up by the main building, which you would pull in and turn right. So last night on the way back, we had to do a late shift, and Sidewalk Sherry was just going to meet us there at Forks of Coal. and we was going to do a 3-person late shift. And we pull in, and we pulled to the parking lot on the left, and there was a vehicle there. And I told Terry, I said, just pull beside it because we're going to run to Chelegans, and we'll have to set up a table and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, why don't we just go up there by the building because there's picnic tables up there? And I'm thinking, well, the sun's not shining down. I was like, what about that gate over there? They don't lock that gate? Oh, no, I've been here many a times. They don't lock that gate. So we go up there, and you know, there's several cars up there, people still out hiking when we start late shift. But they all left really early into our late shift. And we do our late shift and get done. We start going down through there, and it's really dark by then. We get down to the gate, and guess what? That gate is locked.
Same thing happened to me.
It gets better. So Forks of Coal is not a state park. It's not a wildlife management area. It's a natural area. So we start researching everywhere around, and we find a number that is supposedly the natural area emergency number. And we call them, you know, we tell them what's going on. We tell them nobody even bothered to come up there and, you know, see if there's anybody in there. They just locked the gate. And she looks around for a while, and she's like, I don't have any contact number for them. She's like, I'm going to have to send you over to the non-emergency 911 number. So she sends us over to the non-emergency 911 number, which as soon as the answer proceed to hang up on us. So I call her back, and she's like, they hung up? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I'm going to give you their number this time because it's the non-emergency. You're not dialing 911. You're calling the 911 center, but you're not calling for an emergency, so you can't dial 911. I'm not going to call 911 anyway and say I'm stuck in the wildlife center. But so she calls. She gives us a number, and then she transfers us back. And this time they talk to us, and the guy's like, Let me ask somebody.
Hope y'all brought a tent.
So finally he said, well, somewhere on the inside of the gate, there's a red lever. And if you pull it, it'll open the gate. Okay. So we go looking everywhere for this red lever. And I don't see a red lever anyway.
Meanwhile, the guys at the 901 center are joking with their buddies. I got this guy looking for a red lever everywhere.
Well, eventually, if you look underneath the electrical box, there is a red lever. And I pull it. And it does nothing.
Oh.
The gate does not open. I'm like, it's not opening the gate. He's like, what do you mean? He says, like, our note says you pulled a lever and it opens the gate. So I shined the light on the lever really good, and it says disengage. I was like, oh, I know what it's done. So I go over and I grab the gate and I start pulling. And it takes all my weight to pull this gate. This is a big gate. And I pulled the gate open enough. I said, y'all get in your cars and get through before this thing decides to shut back again.
See, we didn't have that here. When I got logged in to the WMA, there was a chain with a padlock around it. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. I mean, I'm in a truck. I'll just drive around it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Because trees. I mean, I can drive over a lot in my truck, but not no tree. Not no pine tree. So we sat there, and finally the DNR ranger came out and let us out. But just like you, he didn't drive back up in there to check. And if he would have drove in there not even 100 yards, he'd have seen my truck. You know, I wasn't far from the gate.
Well, this is the funny part. When I told that guy, they didn't even bother, and 911, they didn't even bother to come up. He said, well, that thing automatically, according to our notes, that thing automatically locks at 7 o'clock. I said, no. I was like, it was after 8 o'clock when we went in there.
Yeah.
So.
But see,
yeah.
Ours was trickery. See, ours doesn't automatically lock. Well, not ours. The one I got locked into. They have a place that they can put a metal sign. Okay. And I have never ever the times I've been out there seen a sign that say no vehicular access. Ever. I've always activated in the same damn spot. Always. When we got locked in. Now we got locked in. The DNR ranger comes down there and lets us out. Then he politely points to the sign right there next to the gate that said no vehicular access. I'm like, I've never seen that damn sign ever, because sometimes I guess they allow vehicular access back there. Sometimes they don't. So what they can do is they can take that sign, slide it out, flip it over, and slide it back in. And I've never, it's always just been a piece of metal sitting there. I've never paid it no mind. But apparently the one time we get locked in there, they had it flipped the other way that said no vehicular access.
Well, see, that's unlike this. There's plenty of vehicle. That's the main parking lot for the museum, the whole center, and everything. That's everything, and there's no signs that says anything. And the main gate to the you can go in there and activate 24/7. The main gate you can pull right in and go to the parking lot where I normally activate, and you can do it anytime you want to. I've been there 12 o'clock at night, and a state trooper pull in and sit on the other end of the parking lot, never even questioned me. And then
I've resigned myself now. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and that sign's flipped around where it does not say no vehicular traffic. I ain't going through that gate. I'll activate right there on the other side of the little, the little information, kiosk area. I ain't going through that gate no more. They learned me.
Like I said, typically I won't activate from the main parking lot up there, even though they've gotten some nice picnic tables area, but they're out in the middle of the sun. The sun is going to be beating on them.
Yeah.
So I always go to the parking lot to the left. There's plenty of tree cover, and sometimes I'll hike in and do it on the trails as well. But
see, if it's a state park with one of those automatic gates, I'm not worried about getting locked in, because normally they do rounds and say, hey, if you're not staying here, it's time to leave. And even if the gate does close, if you pull up to it, it'll open.
Yeah, that's what I thought with that one last time. It's like, it's a gate. It's one of those gates. You just pull up to it, and it didn't.
Yeah, so it's like Monsanto. I mean, sometimes they lock the gates. Well, they close the gates, and you can get out all day long, but you just can't get back in unless you got the code. And if you're staying there,
Right. And long story short, it's just common sense. It's my fault. You never listen to Terry. I mean, when you listen to Terry, bad things happen.
Speaking of Terry, did he behave in Kentucky?
He did. He actually did behave in Kentucky. We had a really good time. I don't know if that was the first ever Kentucky POTA meetup. To my knowledge, it is, but it might not be. I don't know. But
before you joined, we were talking about the picture I saw, and there were some faces that I knew, but a lot of faces I didn't know. And I said that was probably a cool place to meet some new faces. And
that is exactly why I was really happy I went, because out of the 16 people that showed up, and actually if you waited till the very end, there was one more that showed up, but out of the 16, 8 of them I knew and 8 of them I did not. So you heard me at the park earlier and could not get through. You couldn't get through because of the pileup or the bands or what?
Oh man, this morning, I'm glad. Yeah, you may have did good to wait until as late as you did, because this morning at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, or whenever Joe went out, X-Ray Lima Sierra 40 was horrible. Horrible.
Well, I'm just gonna be honest. So last weekend was Michigan. Every single day this week I have been out super early doing POTA. This week we got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, drove to Kentucky and back, and I was just tapped. Like, I was really exhausted last night. Like, it finally caught up to me. And when I woke up this morning, I just laid around for a good while. And then I walked out to let the dog go out, and I said, "Oh no, we're gonna wait a while."
It's already hot.
Like, because as soon as I stepped on the porch, because the sun was beating to that side of the house, as soon as I stepped out there, it like took my breath.
Yeah, crazy. Alpha Delta 9 Whiskey, Mike. What's up, Dennis?
We were just running 5 watts and assumed the bands were the bands were pretty good. I think so. I mean, Terry got me, and that's a rare thing anymore.
How many times did he get you, though? That's the question.
Dude, that is the only thing I felt bad for all 16 operators yesterday, because when I would go over and run the mic, Terry would sit over there on the side and kept calling his call sign trying to get me.
Why am I not surprised? One bit. Not surprised one bit.
But no, back to the meetup. Yeah, there was 8 individuals there that I had never met before. So it was really, really cool. I got to sit down and talk to some people that I'd never talked before. There was actually, I think, 2 of them that didn't even know who I was. So
I'm going to pull a picture here. Keep on talking.
Well, I know there's several pictures going around, floating around. There's one where I'm looking down at my phone because I'm getting ready to snap a picture with my Osmo, and then there's another one with me looking forward. I haven't even put none of my pictures out yet, so.
Oh, I can't share that one. That's a bad one. That's the one. Terry sent me privately. Terry's probably like, "What?" I don't remember saying what.
I'll tell you, but this is what was really amazing. It was a Kentucky meetup. They had 2 people from West Virginia, one person from Virginia, and 2 from technically 1 from North Carolina and 1 from Florida, but they both came from North Carolina. So
there's the group.
Yeah, definitely was a good time.
Looks like a beautiful area too.
Yeah. And we had that QRM because we did have a birthday party at our pavilion, but actually Brandon talked to those people. They were there first, and they let us have the other half of their pavilion while they were doing their birthday party. And then they were loud, but it is what it is. And they also gave us free food.
Did you get cake? Yeah, I was about to ask. Did you get any cake?
No, I didn't get cake, but I got a hot dog. Terry said he got a deviled egg. I seen somebody else could grab a cheeseburger. So,
heck yeah!
And then on the way home, Terry got a treat because we were driving through Lexington.
Banana pudding.
I was like, let's go to City Barbecue. I got brisket and he got a barbecue.
You didn't get the chicken?
No, Josh wasn't there. Josh worked me other today, and I was like, Kilo 4 Lima India, like a tender in the sky. He said, I'm crispy today.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Dom, I missed you. You slid in here, buddy. I see you up there. How you doing, man? Dom is really close, by the way, to 200,000 sideband contacts. He already has total, but he's close to 200,000 sideband contacts. So that's another little milestone I think he's gonna go for. So.
It's great to have goals.
That's quite a number. 200,000.
I was talking to some of those newer people, and I was telling them, what I tell everybody, POTA has something for everybody. It's really, really awesome that you can do anything you want in POTA and have fun. If you're that person that wants to take that long, list and run through it, and it takes 3 minutes per person, you can do it. If you want to run 40 people per minute, you can do it. It's all up to you what you like to do and stuff like that. I mean, it was cool because people were sitting there talking, and they was talking about doing 5 park rows, and they said, yeah, man, a 10 that wore me plumb out and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there and I'm not saying nothing. They said, how many have you done? I said, you don't want to know. I said,
Yeah.
you wouldn't guess. He said, I'm going to guess 20. I said, I'll give you 2 more guesses. And somebody said 21. I said, there's another one. And then somebody said 33. I said, nope. I was like, I've done 51 in Canada and I've done 42 in the States. And they're like, how in the world? I was like I said, there's something for everybody in POTA.
All right, I think I'm done with this.
Yeah. PZN was up in Ohio on the 17th. PZN's in Ohio a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was there on the 17th.
Yeah, that's a good point. Eric brings up 10 parks is a lot of people for setting up. 10 parks is a lot of people if they bring 200 pounds of gear and set it up at a picnic table. You're absolutely right. You have to have some kind of method and repeatability to your deployment and teardown. You have to. I mean, you can't bring 37,000 items with you. You know,
I disagree.
do you think you can do like 50 parks and drag a whole bunch of stuff to the table?
I disagree. I didn't say 50 parks, but he said 10 parks.
Oh, 10. Yeah. Well, it depends on where you are too.
Because, and this is why I disagree. Because we just did 10 parks. Now, it depends on the 10 people. It depends on the people. We just did 10 parks with 12 people. None of them was done in the vehicle. The closest ones were done on the tailgate, which was only a couple. But most of those were done at a picnic table. And we had 12 people. And we had a lot of gear, a whole lot of gear. And I filmed at every location of those 10, which adds another whole crazy element. Anytime I never film roves because it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
But now you could take a different group of 10 people and they would struggle to get that done. It's all about the people, and not that it's a bad thing to be. There's people that's just not rovers out there, you know.
Yeah. All right. So Mommy Noodle says everyone needs a K4 LI to help set up, and that's the truth. Our buddy Josh, Keeler 4 Lemur Indier, when he sets up for POTA, he even brings the porta potty with him. That, people, is dedication.
Well, see, Kyle, you were a Kilo 4 Lima India hunter member. See, I was a Kilo 4 Lima India top activator member, because when I went out with him, it started raining during the activation, and he stops logging and sets up a shelter over top of me while I'm never stopping the activation.
I'm telling you.
So it's all about what tier you're in, Kyle. Yeah, he set up a horizontal porta potty.
Yeah. Absolutely did. I guess the whole gear lugging, though, out to the table for a 10-part rove also depends on where those 10 parks are, how, the distance between them, stuff like that. Because you got to calculate I guess 10 is not. I mean, it still depends on the distance between the parks, to be honest with you. Once you start getting to 15 and 20 parks, you have to really.
If you're going to do 20 parks,
you have to figure out
your method. And you're going to do 20 picnic tables. Yeah. I don't care what your setup is. If you're doing 20 picnic tables, it becomes difficult.
Yeah. Like here in South Georgia, if you were to stay in South Georgia, so if you were to stay below Macon, you're not doing 10 parks in a day. If you stay in the state of Georgia, you're just not doing it. There's not them. The parks ain't there. You just can't do it. Now, if you go a little bit south, I mean, you could do 15 or 20. You know.
So are you saying an area where there's 10 parks though? Is the area you're saying at least have 10 parks in it?
Down around Tallahassee, Florida.
No. You said South Georgia.
No, you can't.
So there's not 10 parks.
Not that you can hit. I would say in one UTC day. Not unless you might be able to squeeze it if you want to drive. If you want to hit some around Jekyll, that little cluster around Jekyll, and then drive your butt all the way over across towards Alabama. But I mean,
because remember, a UTC day starts the night before.
Yeah, I mean
it is 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy though. That's a heck of a lot of driving for 10 parks.
It is, and it wouldn't be fun.
No.
It ain't worth doing just to prove you wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't try to do it.
But it's almost worth doing just to prove you wrong.
Come on down. You got a place to stay the night before. You know that.
Like I wouldn't be staying the night before because I'd be roving the whole night.
You'll be posting on Discord. Time to next park, 2 hours.
I don't need the place to stay, but once I leave Jekyll and start heading that way, I'm picking up either you or Cuz, and you guys are driving the other half of the leg while I'm snoozing for it.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing with big roves. You know, Dale Earnhardt didn't win a race by himself. He had a pit crew, and he couldn't have won the races without a pit crew. And that's the same way with big roves. You can do them by yourself, but you're if you want to do them efficiently, you have a pit crew. And you know, like I have Discord is what I have, and Discord is the world's greatest POTA pit crew. My Discord particularly.
You have to have a driver too.
Because you don't have to, but a driver makes it really, really, really helpful.
It is, because if you're going to do, say, 30 parks in a day, if you don't have a driver, it's exhausting.
Now, we did have one driver for the 50 parks. Same driver.
Yeah,
but
I bet at the end of it, he was more tired than anybody else.
But he was the driver. We had a logger that logged all the parks. We had an antenna guy who would get out and make sure the antenna was ready to go and then I was the microphone guy and the social media guys. Well, we kind of moved the microphone around, but I would be the one in the social media guy in Discord saying we're this many out. Plus, we had a whole web page set up to where it would say distance till next. We'll be at this park, and I mean that one was really, really prepared for. So
I think we should try to set another record, and can't do it around Huntsville. Next time we go to Florida, because the park density is somewhat there. Next time we go to Florida, let's see if we can get, I don't know what the op record is for a rove. Let's see if we can get 20 people to go on a 5-park rove.
Oh, you mean, I'm sure we've done that.
I don't think we've done 20. I know we've done probably 12 or 13. That would be fun. Like 20 people for a 5 or 10 park rove. As long as Bill Brown's not leading the way. Because that's too many U-turns.
There's no straight line in POTA, but there's a lot of U-turns when you're driving with Bill Brown.
That's right. Yeah, that'll be a fun thing to try. I wonder what the current record is. We know what the current rove record is. It'll be 51 now.
I have no idea what the most people ever roved with is. We've had some big groups.
Brian said we can do that near Huntsville really easy. Well, we might look at doing that in August then.
Yeah, 5-park rove would be easy.
Yeah.
And and then you're getting in specifics too, because you're saying 5-park rove. I've probably did 5-park roves with I probably did. I might have done a 10 Park Rove. How many did we do the year in Florida that it rained on us?
11. No, it was 10. It was going to be 11 activations. It was 10 parks. We were going to have 11 activations, but it rained at late shift. We never got a late shift.
But how many people was it?
Oh, 1, 8.
Okay.
8 or 9.
So then I would say my record would be the 12 people, 10 Park Rove.
Yeah.
As
I am
as
going to Huntsville, Mama Noodles. I don't know why you asked me that, because you offered me to sleep in your trailer with you. I mean, you should know I'm going. And plus, somebody decided to slack out and not go to Orlando, so I'm missing a cheeseburger. You owe me one.
Oh. Terry got a cheeseburger when he came up here and stayed the other night. He got the pleasure of eating Yankee Victor Delta style, like 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, I thought you meant some kind of particular method that she eats cheeseburgers.
Yeah, she does have a method. It's after midnight when she makes them.
I thought you meant like it was something like really shenanigans, like she eats the meat first, then the bun.
She is one of those people that and I'm sure there's probably even people out there in the chat that does this. And to me, I'm sorry, it's just weird. But they'll go to a restaurant and they'll get, say, a combo, cheeseburger and fries. They'll eat all their French fries, then they'll eat their cheeseburger.
Right? Yeah.
That's weird to me. I want to eat them all together. Or they'll eat their whole meal and not touch their drink, and then drink their drink at the end.
You ever now I've done that before just because I haven't been thirsty when I was eating it, but you ever put fries on your cheeseburger?
I'm sure, yeah.
It's good. It's like putting chips on a sandwich. A lot of people think it's crazy to put potato chips on your sandwich. It's good. Heck yeah. Does anybody in the chat put potato chips on their sandwich? We need to figure this out. I know Juliet Mike thinks it's the weirdest thing.
It's no different to me than those burgers that have the crispy onions on it.
Yeah, exactly. Everything goes in the same hole. That's right. Fries on the cheeseburgers, a definite yes.
Bologna ketchup and Pringles.
That's a good one. Onion rings on the burger, absolutely. Sandwiches should not be crunchy. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I like my crunchy sandwiches.
Well, it depends on what you're calling crunchy. Are you calling the bread crunchy? Or are you calling... Because if I'm eating fried bologna, the bologna needs to be crunchy.
No, I'm talking about making like a turkey sandwich with like deli meat, like deli meat turkey. And on the sandwich, you put your nacho cheese Doritos on there, and then you smash it.
There's nothing wrong with
it. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Absolutely. Radio Charlie Pampa, Robbie says fries always first.
Terry said he always drinks his drink at the end. That's just weird to me. I would choke.
Yeah. Mo says potato chips on sandwiches is a yes. Yes, absolutely true.
Feels like I've been on a 3-year road since you started Boda.
Yeah.
Activating Alaska next week. Awesome.
State number 49. Awesome, buddy.
Congratulations. That is absolutely awesome.
Pittsburgh, they put fries on everything. Put fries on salad? Wow. That's a new one for me.
Well, now a salad for me, it would be something different than a salad for everybody else anyway. So I could probably do chips in mine, no problem. Because a salad for me would be something like pepperoni, cheese, bacon bits. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't eat that rabbit stuff.
We were just talking about that, Mommy Noodles, the other day, and I do believe there will be no nut banana bread in Huntsville.
Hmm. I mean,
Because she said, I don't know how many to make. And then she said, well, I know Kyle's going to want one.
I'm sure she'd make me whatever I asked for because she wouldn't turn her back on me.
Mayo on French fries. No,
That's just disgusting.
that is disgusting. I don't mind mayo, but that's disgusting. Radio
Oh,
Charlie
Lord.
Papa loves mayo.
Why is my kit builder going to be the weird guy?
Yeah.
Everybody give Robbie a shout out because he's going to put a kit together for me. It'll be in his mailbox on Thursday.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? They call it a royale. They call it a royale with cheese because they don't know what a quarter pounder is. They got the metric system. That's a good movie, guys. If anybody can slap that movie comment in the chat.
So this is what's unique about Shenanigans. We started talking radio, and now we're talking about sandwich on chips. And since we're talking about how unique Shenanigans is, and this is something that interests me. How many people who are loyal Shenanigan watchers also watch Hump Day Happy Hour, and how many people just watch Shenanigans? So put a 1 if you watch both, put a 2 if you only watch Shenanigans.
I don't watch either one of them.
I'm curious about this. And I'm going to ask the same question on Wednesday. On
a lot of 1s so far, no 2s. That's good.
That's good. I'm glad to see no 2s.
Can I get a 113.3891 gram with cheese? That is excellent.
Because I'm just curious because they're totally different live streams. Like it's like night and day. So I appreciate that you guys enjoy them both. That's great. And I'm doing this because we have a lot of new subscribers here in the last little bit. And a lot of it's due to where I'm branching out and doing some other stuff like satellites and stuff like that. But we're getting a lot of new subscribers, and I want to see what interests them. And it's great that they feel they. Of course, I don't see a lot of new people in there pressing 1 right now.
That's good though. Yeah, that's right, Kyle. That's one of the big Kahuna burners. You mind if I have some of yours?
And there's 46 people and only 6 click the like button. That is the never ending. I don't care if we have 4,000 people in the stream will get 6 likes.
Do you mind if I have some of your Sprite to wash this down? That's one of my most favorite movies of all time. That's one. It's either my favorite or my second favorite, and it's going to be tied with Tombstone. I can't put one before the other. They're both excellent movies.
It's hard to beat Tombstone, but
then
Braveheart would be number 1 for me.
Yeah, and then number 3, if anybody has not seen Snatch, it is a great movie. And
you just sent Terry down the deep end.
The movie, it's kind of a Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels-esque, kind of movie. Yeah, Snatch is a great movie.
Oh, Lord.
That's right. Pulp Fiction.
Ronnie said he just watched Tombstone. That's his
Zed's
favorite.
dead, baby.
we all know that I like Tombstone.
That's right.
If you've watched my streams for any amount of time, even though I keep my phone on silent now, you know that I like Tombstone.
I got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. All right. Georgia Parks and Propagations. Yep, on 7044. Running some CW. Go give them some bleeps and bloops.
Everybody go get on 7044, exactly 7044. And I want you all to coordinate it at one time. And just all, 42 people send to him at one time. Mm-hmm. I was talking about this with one of the newer people that I was talking to yesterday that I met. And he does a lot of CW, and we were talking about exactly this stuff. And what's interesting is he actually does CW like I do. I've never found anybody that does it. He actually sends the call back first and then logs them.
That is very true. All right. Well, we need to wrap this up because I just got a notification that Tank Radio, that's our buddy Frank, just went live.
There we go. We do need to wrap it up because I just got a notification that people want to see me in a park here shortly. So,
Hold up.
all right, Dan, what you got coming up?
Not a lot. Y'all have a great week coming up. Thank you so much for joining us here on Shenanigans, and we will see you Wednesday at 8.
All right, for me, I'm going to go do some POTA. Early late shift coming up shortly. Maybe even 2 late shifts. We'll see how froggy I feel when I get out there in the heat. We'll see about that. But tomorrow morning, if you like CW and you like to get up early, about 8:15, your ham alert should go off because I'll be out there doing it. So 73, everybody. Thanks for the super chats.